All right, welcome back to part 3. So today we're going to be working on pushing and pulling windows. And one thing that I just kind of realized is that I forgot to put trim in my window up top here. All right, so let me pause this real quick. I'm going to add that trim and then I'll come back to you guys. All right, so I have my borders around my upper windows at this point. So let's talk about what we're gonna do, right? So when you go to create these, you definitely want to do like all your 2D sketching first. I would definitely recommend like setting it all up before you start extruding things because it would get a lot more complicated later on. So when we do go to like move these things around, we're going to want to both push the frame of the window out and we're going to want to push the glass of the window in. And I do that like an inch or two in each direction depending. So for instance, I'm going to bring my windows in 2 inches and I'm going to bring my frames out 2 inches or 1 inch rather. So when I grab my frames, I'm going to bring this, oops, that's still on my move. I'm going to do the push pull. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to bring this out. And again, if I let go and I just type 1 and enter, it bumps that frame out 1 inch. I can do the same thing, 1 and enter. I also can like grab onto there must be an opening in these, so I'll have to come back and like edit those. Let's take a look over here. I can bring this out 1 inch. I can bring this out 1 inch. I can bring this out 1 inch. Um, oops, and see I'm cutting in. 1, enter. All right, I'm going to save this. Um, so let's see if I can figure out how to tweak what's going on in the front here. So again, if I look at my views and I'm just going to look at the front view here, I'm just going to try and draw rectangles on top of what I already have and see if that helps. So if I draw a rectangle from here to here and another rectangle from here to here. Yeah, there we go. Oops. Let's give that a go now. Okay, so no, I don't want to. I don't know why that keeps coming up. Just always hit cancel if you're getting that same thing. That's also why it's important to save regularly because it wants to like close you out when it's bringing that up. So now I can move these things out both an inch. So that's cool. Now I'm ready to start moving like my windows and my door back inside the house somewhat too. Okay, so again, I'm going to grab my window now and I'm going to come back 2 inches. So in theory now I've got about like a 3 inch gap between like the front of my trim and the back of my windows, the back of my doors, all that stuff. Okay, it just gives like some depth to the house. So 2 inches. All right. So everything is now slid in. Did I slide this into? Yeah, it looks like it did. Okay, cool. So now we're ready to start doing some like coloring and stuff. Okay, so underneath here we have materials. And boy, I'm zoomed like way in on this program. All right, so we have our materials over here. By the way, in order to zoom in and out, if you hold down Control, you can use your scroll wheel to like zoom in and out of these menus. There's just basically like in your model stuff, and then there's also browse. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff in here that we can use. Um, so one of those things is glass and mirror. Okay, so this blue thing here, this is glass. If, as you can see here, translucent blue glass, dark green glass, translucent gray glass. I like the blue personally. These are like mirrors. I like the blue personally. So I'm going to select and all of my windows I'm going to paste this into. Cool. Okay. Next thing that I'm going to do is, I guess I could start coloring my window trim, or I could start coloring my like background. I'll go with window trim next. So in my other house, I use like a really dark gray, maybe like this one here. Yeah, so this is pretty nice. So coloring all of this in, honestly, is going to take, a little bit, okay? Because there's a lot of surfaces that you need to select as you're going through. Use your scroll wheel, bounce around, select your surfaces. Make sure, I'm going to do this off camera for the most part, but make sure that you scroll around to your different views. Hit up your trim from different perspectives so that you can see different surfaces. Make sure you're looking at it from the bottom. Make sure that you're looking at it from like the top. Make sure you're looking at it from both sides, and just, do your best to like get all of the aspects of trim colored on the outside. All right, so I'm gonna do most of this off camera here, and then we'll talk about what comes next. All right, we're back again here. So I have the vast majority of this trim colored. I wanted to show you guys too, like besides the materials over here, on the side here, there's a paint bucket, and underneath the paint bucket, there's an sampler, which is an eyedropper. That's to grab a color, and then you have your paint bucket itself. So if you realize, like if I look underneath of here, I didn't paint that yet. If I don't remember like what color gray this is, I can just use the eyedropper to select it, and then I can paste that in there, and like I missed that. And I didn't even know that I missed these here. You're going to like come across a lot of things that you realize later on, like, oh, geez, I forgot to color that particular portion in. So just come around and hit these pieces up. I think I left this one undone too. Yep. So that'll take care of that. I'm also going to, in my case, I'm going to do the perimeter of my roof in this color. I might even do the underside of my roof in that color. Okay, so we've got that there. As far as my door is concerned, we'll come back to the roof here in a second. As far as my door is concerned, I want to put like another window inside of my door. So, similar to like a lot of the other things we've been doing, I'm going to create a rectangle tool. I want like a modern door, so I'm just going to put like a big, long, narrow opening into this thing. Because it's definitely supposed to be more of a modern type home. And I am going to push pull this in maybe like an inch in this case. And I'm going to do the eyedropper. I'm going to, undo. I'm going to paint, grab the eyedropper, select the glass, and then can drop that in there. Okay, I'm also going to, for the perimeter around the glass, I'm going to do that in gray. Okay. As far as the exterior house is concerned, you could color it like a particular color if you wanted to. There's also some siding options and stuff. If we come in here and we look under, where is it? Brick, cladding, and siding. There's a bunch of stuff in here. There's one of these things, like this is called Beadboard. You can like it'll tell you up top here what it is. Cinder blocks. Some just generic kind of siding and stuff like that. They have a rusty metal siding. They have a cladding, weathered. They also have this like modern siding stuff, which is what I'm going to use. You can't really edit the colors. I think that if you paid for this, you'd be able to go through and like edit these. But here we can't. Okay, so I've just colored in that portion there. I also want to go and look at like coloring my door. And again, this is kind of like a modern type setting. So doing some sort of like fun door color isn't such a bad thing. Maybe like a tiny bit muted. I like this one here. All right, so we've got that there. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do at this point is work on my roof. Okay, so for my roof, I've done like the sides of my roof, the underside of my roof, but I haven't colored the top of my roof yet. Again, underneath of materials, there's a roofing material area. So when we go into roofing, a bunch of different roofing options here. Anything from standing seam red. This is like a red metal clad roof, something like that, right? Which isn't so bad. Asphalt roofs. Okay, there's a lot of like good options for roofing material. For me though, I'm going to select a metal roof. Okay, and this isn't exactly a roof; it's just metal, but they have a corrugated metal roof, which I just think that from a modern kind of perspective, I think that that's a really great roof. It would also honestly make a pretty great cladding for the home. Actually, I think I'm going to use it for my cladding. You know, and that just kind of is a different type of siding that we can use. So as of right now, you know, I'm creating this lesson a few weeks before I'm even giving it to you at this point. As of right now, I don't think that we're going to be doing the interior, but I may change my mind by the time that I send this out. I might figure it out and may have you guys do that. But realistically speaking, as of right now, this is going to be the last step in this. And again, I reserve the right to change my mind later on. But as of right now, that's kind of where we're going to be at. And again, when we go into, oh, where is it? Maybe the display options. Yeah, so display options here. There are section cuts and stuff, so maybe we can get onto the inside easier, but we can turn on our shadows. And again, like let's go 11/11. That's my birthday, so we'll just throw that in there, right? So we can see how the house casts shadows throughout the day. And again, for the winter time, you know, my house, one of the things that I'm trying to really do is like a passive solar house. So I want the house to heat and cool itself as best as possible. So these windows up here, in theory, these would be movable so that they could vent hot air during the winter time, or excuse me, during the summertime. And they also allow like a lot of light to come streaming in during the winter time. And again, if I switch this to be, you know, like February or something like that, and we look, you know, you can see how during the middle of the day there, we're getting a lot of good sun inside that house, which is pretty important to a passive solar. We also can see that when we go into the summertime, like this is July, how little the sun gets inside of the house, you know, except for again the like late afternoon, we're getting some shadows. But all in all, you know, this is a pretty ideal design for passive solar. Lots and lots of sunlight in the house during the winter months and little sunlight in the house during the winter months. Okay, so it's kind of cool just to see. Also, like you set the time to be like noon or whatever, or something. You can just see how the sun really changes throughout the year as it hits that. So that's another cool thing you can mess with, all right? The next video that I'm going to put out is going to be how you're going to share this information with me. All right, so that'll be the next one to come out. Okay, good job, everybody. If you have any questions, email me, and we'll talk soon. All right, bye-bye.